This is Attorney Pandeli, and let's dive right into the N-400 applications. As you will see here on the top, this expires on the 30th of September 2022, and it is a very recent application. In fact, we needed to update our course as a result of it. And so here the edition is the 17th of September 2019. So always pay attention to these editions. There's a prior edition which is as of 2016, and that will be accepted up until the middle of December. And so, but you're much better off if you actually file this version of the paper application. Okay, and so right now we're just going to talk a couple of general things, and then in addition to that we're going to talk about part one. Okay, and so so right off the bat, USCIS is trying to make sure that the right people are filing this form. And so one of the things that they're saying is that, you know, if your parent is a U.S. citizen and they were naturalized before your 18th birthday, they are telling you to pay attention because you might not need to file this form. So you might have received already derivative citizenship as a result of your mother or your father becoming a U.S. citizen, and so for that purpose you would need to file form N-600, and that's, you know, certificate of citizenship form. So if you're over 18 and you do need to get naturalized, meaning go from the process of being a green card holder into a U.S. citizen, then this is the right form. And so let's dive right into part one. And that is information about your eligibility. In other words, here USCIS would like to know what is the basis for your eligibility. And so here you enter your A number, and typically it's an 8 or a 9-digit number if it's an 8, or even sometimes a 7-digit number. Just make sure to add 1 or 2 zeros so that the total digits are 9. And so question 1 says you are at least 18 years of age and you've been a lawful permanent resident of the United States for at least 5 years. So that's one of the conditions to apply. You have been a lawful permanent resident of the United States for at least 3 years. And in addition to that, you have been married to a U.S. citizen spouse for 3 years, and you've been living with that same spouse. Okay? So the first one is, independently of whether you're married or not, what have you, if you've had your green card for 5 years, or for 4 years and 9 months, really. So it's 90. There's a 90-day window before the 5 years is up where you can begin the application process. So you can do that. So that's A. B is you've been a lawful permanent resident, and the conditions are for 3 years or 2 years and 9 months. So 3 years, and then married to a U.S. citizen and living with a U.S. citizen. It's very important that you be living with that U.S. citizen. And in addition to that, there's some other almost hidden requirements, which is you need to have been in the same household for the last 90 days before you can apply. Okay, so and that's for all of them. So independently of what condition you have, independently of which eligibility requirement you're gonna click into, you must have been in that household for the last 90 days. You must have been living there for the last 90 days. And so we go A, B, now C. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States, and you're a spouse of a U.S. citizen, and your U.S. citizen spouse is regularly engaged in specified employment abroad, and maybe you even reside abroad. So let me talk a little more about this. And so this type of question is geared towards someone that hasn't lived in the U.S. for the last 3 or 5 years, depending on, you know, if you were married to a U.S. citizen spouse or not. And so if you were not living in the U.S., but there was a reason for that, meaning that your spouse had a job with a U.S. citizen, with a United States company, or, you know, maybe it's a governmental job, or sometimes media jobs are you know, added to this situation, then the requirement of, you know, being for at least, you know, let's say 2.5 out of the 5 years, 30 out of the 60 months, or 1.5 out of the 3 years, then that gets taken into consideration. And so under D, you're applying on the basis of qualifying military service. And so the reason why this is important is because for those that have they're either on active duty or have been military members, the U.S. government recognizes that, and as a thank you for the service that they've performed, they either allow people to file for citizenship right away, meaning that if you're on active duty and you get your green card, you can go ahead and file for citizenship right away. Or if you have been in active duty in the past, then you can only you can be a green card holder for 1 year, and then after that you can file. So these are some of the general considerations under Part 1. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments, and then our team, the course team would be able to help you.